We are here tonight to honor those who have reached the highest Air Force enlisted grade, Chief Master Sergeant. Each of these individuals have journeyed a different path to this promotion, and along the way have been supported by many of you in this room. Parents, spouses, children, supervisors, co-workers, and friends. It is extremely fitting that you are here to celebrate this milestone with them.
On behalf of the top of the world's Chief Group, we extend a warm welcome to everyone and thank you for helping us celebrate tonight's event.
Raise your right hand. I state your name. Defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
And that I will.
For the ramparts we watched were so gallant.
Orders of the President of the United States
And the Governor of Alaska.
and the Governor of Alaska.
And the orders of the officers appointed over me. And I will obey the orders of the officers appointed over me, according to the regulations of the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God. So help me God. Congrats.
At this time, we would like to introduce our distinguished guests in attendance.
Your host for this evening, the commander of 354th Fighter Wing, Brigadier General Mark Kelly.
The senior enlisted advisor to the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Sergeant Major Brian Battaglia.
The commander of 68th Air Refueling Wing, Colonel Timothy O'Brien, and his wife, Kathy.
The vice commander, 354th Fighter Wing, Colonel J. Arnroot, and his wife, Janet.
Our guest speaker for tonight, Command Sergeant Major, Fort Wainwright Garrison, Sergeant Major Wayne Jeffers.
The Command Chief Master Sergeant, 354th Fighter Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Jeffrey Brown, and his wife, Mary.
The Command Chief Master Sergeant, 168th Air Refueling Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Philip Hunt, and his wife, Luana.
We would also like to welcome all group and squadron commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, supervisors, co-workers, and family members that are also here this evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to introduce our newest Chief Master Sergeant, Chief Cordon, host.
Cordon, halt. Center, face.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chief Master Sergeant William G. Dixon, accompanied by his wife, Master Sergeant retired Lori Dixon. Chief Master Sergeant Dixon enlisted into the Air Force in January 1975 under the Delayed Entry Program. He officially reported for duty in June 1975, and he joined the Alaska Air National Guard in 1988. He currently serves as the superintendent of the 168th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chief Master Sergeant Patrick J. Skinner, accompanied by his wife, Jennifer. Chief Master Sergeant Skinner enlisted in the Air Force in May 1985. and he joined the Alaska Air National Guard in 1995. He currently serves as the superintendent of 168 Maintenance Group Quality Assurance Flight.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Senior Master Sergeant Nolan E. Massaroni. Senior Master Sergeant Massaroni enlisted into the Air Force in October 1989. He currently serves as the superintendent of the 353rd Combat Training Squadron.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Senior Master Sergeant Daniel M. Franskowiak, accompanied by his wife, Master Sergeant Suzanne Hyden. Sergeant Franskowiak enlisted into the Air Force in November 1990. He currently serves as the vehicle fleet manager of the 354th Logistics Readiness Squadron.
Please join us for another round of applause for all of our honorees.
All promotions, and especially promotions to the highest enlisted rank, are not possible without the inspiration and support of our families. Whether you are a parent who tearfully dropped off your son or daughter off at the military entry processing station many years ago, or a spouse who has stood strong during deployments, moves, and missed anniversaries, or even a child who has sacrificed and encouraged mom or dad while adjusting to each new move or situation in school. We are grateful to each of you for your support. Will all family members please stand and be recognized?
General Kelly, would you please come forward to offer some opening remarks?
Thanks. I'll make this really quick because we have a real treat tonight. We get our Command Sergeant Major Jeffries from our great teammates at Fort Wainwright to speak to us. You guys get to hear me often enough, so it's great to have visitors here. Sergeant Major Battaglia, it's great to have you here. As I mentioned to him earlier, we get lots of visitors who want to see us in July. But a ton of street cred when you show up at the end of January, beginning of February to see the Iceman. And it's a true honor to have you here with us as you represent all the sons and daughters of our nation. And we appreciate you being here. Of course, Colonel Tim O'Brien, thank you, sir, for being here tonight. Chief Moore came all the way up from Jay Bear. He had a chance to go to Guam and be warm, but he wanted to be with his old Iceman team. And we know where his heart really is. Great to see you here. To our group of squadron commanders and our command chief and Miss Mary, glad to have you back. They'll talk to you later in the script about how big of a deal it is to be a chief. Less than 1 in 100, and that's not a fluke of numbers. It stems from far, far back in our history. As a matter of fact, the 1 in 100 became synonymous with the Roman military. They referred to as centurion because it was the 1 in 100 who led the 100. And it was such a big deal to become a centurion, just like it's a big deal to become a chief or a sergeant major or command sergeant major, that when the centurions would get promoted into the Senate, and even a few became Caesars, they never got rid of their centurion sash. And you'll see that in pictures from the old Roman Empire there. But I couldn't be happier to be here. I saw the crowd that was on the list. I was told I was going to have Mr. and Mrs. Winky at my table, and I'm really, really happy that I actually have Specialist Winky at my table here tonight. That's a true joint table over there. And just when I thought I couldn't be any happier to be here tonight, the senior list advisor to the chairman has the Air Force song he's studying right now. So again, welcome everybody here tonight. It's an honor to have you here. The only thing I would ask is as we celebrate and enjoy each other and recognize the service, we all get home safely. So look out for each other. Thank you.
Thank you, General Kelly. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's dinner is buffet style. is 5'6".
I'm impressed. Thank you so much. Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Thank you.
I went down there when Cordova got 18 feet of snow that week. It is my honor to introduce tonight's guest speaker, the Command Sergeant Major, Fort Wainwright Garrison, Command Sergeant Major Wayne Jeffries.
General Kelly, Command Sergeant Major Battaglia, Command Master Chief Moore, Command Master Chief Brown, Command Master Chief Delphi. I think I got all those titles right, correct?
No.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and thank you for inviting me to this wonderful event. It's an honor to be asked to speak for the honorees tonight, or about the honorees attaining the rank of Chief Master Sergeant, E9 Sergeant Major. And I take this as a privilege. One, this will probably be the only time that I am ever asked to do this, since I wear a funny suit and you don't wear blue. But I promise that I will use the 3 B's of public speaking. I will be entertaining, I will be brief, and I will be gone. This is a night to recognize those airmen that have been selected for promotion to the rank of Chief Master Sergeant, a rank that has already been identified as composing only 1% of not only the Air Force and the Air National Guard, but the entire U.S. military. The rank of Chief Master Sergeant, Sergeant Major, Master Chief Petty Officer, Command Chief, Command Master Chief, and Command Sergeant Major are the pinnacle ranks in each of the respective services. To ascend to those highly sought after and selectively chosen ranks requires an exceptional amount of commitment and sacrifice. Let's just look at the level of commitment by highlighting today's honorees' service over the past 30+ years of service. Chief Skinner entered the service in May of 1985 and continues to serve today. His commitment to excellence could be observed in his over 1,500 hours of classroom work as a technical training instructor for the KC-135R. That's one of those numbers I don't know what it is. I know it was another plane, correct? And even more so when he volunteered to cross-train out of his comfort zone into the space operations in support of clear Air Force's missile warning and space surveillance missions. Then we have Chief Master Sergeant Dixon. He has served in the Air Force and Air National Guard since 1975. Point of reference, I was only like 12 years old then. So, Chief, you make me feel young. In that time, though, he has excelled in the field of maintenance, production, and worked on, at my count, at least 6 different versions of the C-135. To retain the vast knowledge to not only maintain these aircraft, but to mentor young airmen on those systems exudes a commitment to service and a nation that is not comparable. The Senior Master Sergeant Massaroni, I hope I did not butcher your name, has served in the Air Force since October 1989. Now he's making me feel old. I was actually a staff sergeant by then. And has shown his commitment over the past years by serving in positions such as Aerospace Ground Equipment Journeyman, Technical School Instructor, and Repair Section NCOIC. He has shown commitment to serve as he deployed to Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom. And finally, last but not least, Senior Master Sergeant Frankowitz. Having entered the service in November of 1990, his commitment to serve was shown as he moved around the world to locations such as Weisskirchen in Zweibrücken, Germany, Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana, Elmendorf Air Force Base in Alaska. Not bad, but not the best place in Alaska. Minot Air Force Base in North Dakota, and deploying to Iraq and Qatar. That is an extreme level of commitment from all four of those gentlemen. But let us not forget the people that committed the most to them, their wives. Lori, Jennifer, and Master Sergeant Suzanne Hayden have had to be just as committed as their airmen. Have to watch, I don't want to call them soldiers. But they have been just as committed. They are part of that team that makes up the Chief's success. Amongst our honorees today, we can see that there is a combined total of over 110 years of commitment to the Air Force and Air National Guard and our nation. That is an outstanding level of commitment these gentlemen have given. But not only that, they have committed great sacrifice. Great sacrifice is a part of that equation in their rise to the top enlisted ranks. While their peers chose paths through college or work in the private sector, our honorees today chose the path of service to country. In doing so, they have sacrificed by leaving their comfort zone of where they grew up. Red Bluff, California for Chief Skinner. Bluefield, West Virginia for Senior Master Sergeant Massaroni. And Grayling, Michigan for Senior Master Sergeant Franklin. Now, you notice that I did not say where, make sure I get these names right. Chief Dixon came from, because I think that was probably somewhere where Moses grew up. So. Oh, right, brothers, that's true. I do that just because not too many people are older than me, that I know anyway. They went to places far from their families, friends, and the things they know just to serve their nation. That wasn't the end of their sacrifice, only the beginning. Because then, when they met their brides and were married, they now sacrificed the time away, ensuring that the mission was always accomplished. They deployed to different countries, TDY, training exercises, assisting and handing off equipment to foreign nations that purchased some of our wonderful aircraft. Their commitment and sacrifice is what has assured that they have been able to climb to the pinnacle of their careers. These gentlemen and their families have contributed to the Air Force, Air National Guard, and our nation greatly. In conclusion, these fine young men, and it includes Chief Dixon, are what will be leading the formation in the future, enforcing the standards, mentoring young airmen, training to the future, ensuring they continue to show the commitment and sacrificing, because that's what airmen, sailors, Marines, and soldiers do to make this country great. Honorees, congratulations on all your selections to Chief and on your new missions. Thank you very much.
Please direct your attention to the stage.
Airman Basic is the starting rank for all enlisted airmen. Their primary focus is to learn more about their career field in the Air Force. In 1947, this grade was referred to as private. In 1952, it was changed to basic airman. And in 1959, it was changed to airman basic. This candle is lit to represent all enlisted airmen.
Airmen continue to pursue attaining the initial skill levels to increase their technical proficiency, as well as develop a positive role in the enlisted force. The grade of airman is the first stripe an enlisted person wears. In 1947, this grade was called Private First Class. In 1952, it was changed to Airman Third Class. And in 1967, it was changed to Airman. Representing the 2nd enlisted grade is Airman Bethany Cornett, a bioenvironmental engineer technician from the 354th Medical Operations Squadron.
Airmen First Class further develop their technical skills and become self-sufficient in their primary duties. In 1947, they were called corporals. In 1952, the rank was changed to Airman Second Class. And in 1967, it was changed to Airman First Class. Representing the 3rd enlisted grade is A1C Harold England, an aerospace ground equipment apprentice from the 354th Maintenance Squad.
Senior airmen begin to develop an increased awareness of future supervisory responsibilities. This grade has undergone the most changes in the Air Force's relatively brief history. In the beginning, they were referred to as sergeants. In 1952, the grade was changed to Airman First Class. Then in 1967, it reverted back to sergeant. In 1976, depending upon how many years you had in the service, you were either called a senior airman or a sergeant. In 1991, the dual name was dropped, and this grade is now called Senior Airman. Representing the 4th enlisted grade is Senior Airman Mark Gilbert, a vehicle mechanic from the 354th Logistics Readiness Squadron.
Staff sergeants begin the first step into non-commissioned officer corps. Their responsibility is to supervise others, be technically proficient, and develop leadership skills. This grade was established in 1947 and has not changed over the years. Representing the 5th enlisted grade is Staff Sergeant Chad Munoz, an aircraft mechanic from the 168th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron.
Technical sergeant signifies entry into the mid-level management tier, where a balance of technical expertise and people skills are required. This grade was also established from the very beginning and has remained unchanged. Representing the 6th enlisted grade is Tech Sergeant Marshall Smith, Quality Assurance Chief Inspector for the 354th Maintenance Group.
Master Sergeant signifies entry into the senior non-commissioned officer enlisted grade. At this point, greater people skills and enhanced management of technical operations are expected. The Master Sergeant leads the force to higher levels of technical mastery and mission performance. Established in 1947, this was the highest Air Force enlisted grade for 11 years. Representing the 7th enlisted grade is Master Sergeant James Umholtz, Vehicle Management Flight Superintendent for the 354th Logistics Readiness Squadron.
Senior Master Sergeant represents entry into the congressionally limited top 3% of the enlisted force. The Senior Master Sergeant is a leader and a manager whose emphasis on mission accomplishment is less technical and more leadership focused, but who is well qualified for both. The first Air Force promotions to Senior Master Sergeant were effective 1 September 1958. Representing the 8th enlisted grade is Senior Master Sergeant Duncan Edwards, Chief Inspector, Quality Assurance from the 168th Maintenance Group.
The rank of Chief Master Sergeant represents the culmination of years of experience, skill, and technical expertise an enlisted member attains in serving our great nation. The Chief Master Sergeant grade was established in 1958 to represent the highest level of enlisted leadership. Representing the 9th and top enlisted grade is Chief Master Sergeant Harold Dalton, Squadron Superintendent from the 354th Logistics Readiness Squadron.
Please give our ceremony participants a round of applause.
Chief Master Sergeant William G. Dixon.
Chief Master Sergeant Patrick J. Skinner.
Thank you, Chief Hunt. Chief Brown, would you please come forward and assist Sergeant Major Jeffries with presentations to our newest 354th Fighter Wing Chiefs?
Chief Master Sergeant Select Nolan E. Massaroni.
Again, Star. Chief Master Sergeant Select Daniel M. Franscobo. Now, some closing comments from Senior Enlisted Advisor and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Sergeant Major Taggart.
Thanks so much for the opportunity to offer closing remarks. So let me say, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening to every one of you, and it's indeed an honor to be here, teamed up with our honored guest, Command Sergeant Major Jeffries. Thank you, CSM, for letting me strap hang on to the tail end of your event to offer some remarks. Now, as your SEAC, it's professionally humbling in representing nearly 2 million serving men and women, our enlisted corps, and their families. I've said this in some other venues, and it certainly applies here. As I look out among the audience, there are a few optics within this room that kind of jump out. Diversity, teamwork, membership. I'll get to those observations a little bit later, but I wanted to mention before I forgot. So what a motivating juncture in your career. To reach the pinnacle of the enlisted rank ladder. I mean, how cool is that? Cool, yes, but I'd say daunting, even intimidating, may be a bit more realistic. It was for me, anyway. Now, don't get me wrong. I was up to the challenge, and I know you are. And when you can feel the learning and the education curve get vertical again, that really is the cool piece that I'd like you to take away. So essentially, we raise your pay, and with that, we raise your responsibilities. But for you, you must raise your game. Since the inception of the non-commissioned officer, we've maintained a traditional core responsibility, and that is to mold and develop, educate, motivate our men and women for the duration of their service life cycle, and then prepare them to re-enter society, valued and productive. If there's ever an exciting time, and you're looking for a challenge as a leader in our armed forces, it is now. We do belong to a professional warfighting organization, but we also belong to an institution of continued learning. And your vast years of experience alone brings a very relevant tactical and operational art. And in the same context, I'm confident that your continued education and training will only enhance the science. You know, in our line of work, we don't achieve campaigns and mission milestones without art and science. They are two key ingredients to a leader, to an operator, to a planner, to an analyst, to a tactician, to a commander. And it may not bridge well if used separately. So as I said earlier, there are a few optics that jumped out at me, diversity being one. I think you'll all agree that while there are some slight differences, even within this room, slight differences in our components, slight differences in our service culture, there are many similarities and common denominators that are also important to recognize. We're all non-commissioned officers, and our sole existence in this big gun club is accomplishing a mission assigned by our commander, safely returning with as many of our men and women as feasibly possible. Regardless of uniform or assignment, we all have troops to keep focused and their families to watch over. As enlisted leaders, we tend to become pretty good problem solvers, always seeking knowledge and attributes to be a better leader. None of us are perfect, and we all have weaknesses. So while we may feel that leadership success is being an effective problem solver, our goal as leaders should be more focused about being a problem preventer. Get ahead of it. Get on the left side, and in a position where you are shaping and making decisions, not just reacting to them. Somewhere I picked up a short soundbite about this well-known hockey player. I'm sure you've heard of Wayne Gretzky. His success, you know, it definitely wasn't because of his smaller size that made him literally the greatest hockey player of all time. So when asked what did he do to make up for any shortfalls in bulk and speed, he simply said, I never really skated to where the puck just came from, but always tried to skate to where it was going to be. CSM Jeff Jeffries, thanks again for letting me have a few minutes at the podium. Thank you all for your continued service. Congratulations on one hell of an achievement, and may God continue to bless our troops and their families. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergeant Major Battaglia. Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes tonight's ceremony. Please take a few moments to congratulate our new Chief Master Sergeants. Thank you for sharing this evening with us, and please drive home safely.